Well, good morning and welcome to the Sports Bar Show. It's not Monday, but it is Tuesday. The snow got in the way yesterday. Well, it got in the way for me. But we are with you this Tuesday morning here at Bacup Borough Football Club. I am Steve Brown, and alongside me, as always, is the manager here at Bacup Borough Football Club. That is Brent Peters. A lot of things to discuss this morning. Chewing the fat and talking a lot of balls, as we always do, Brent.
Yeah, just one thing I've got to say before we start.
What's up now?
Because we're a day out, I forgot to turn my phone off, so if it rings, I apologise.
And you're a busy man, so the chances are that phone's going to go off at some point. Jose Mourinho's going to get into it. You're after a centre forward, aren't you?
I think we've cured that. Well, we'll soon tell when we play.
Yeah.
Simon 2 weeks ago, and we haven't played since.
Yeah. You need out there at the moment though. You've put some pictures on our Twitter, haven't you? On the Bacup Borough Twitter, and it's. Yesterday it was. Well, it's still
like a lake.
Is it still a lake out there?
No, that's gone.
Now
I told you that just shows our drains do work. The drains do work.
Yesterday it must have been about what?
You could see.
Yeah,
they were trouting it. They were trout swimming.
Did you have your wellies on?
Yeah. Listen, get it for all seasons here, and today we've got snow on the ground. So it's gone from a lake, and that's gone. The water's gone to a covering of snow. Yeah. What will tomorrow bring?
Who knows?
Hopefully,
4 seasons in one day here in Bacup.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things to discuss this morning. We're going to be with you for the next 30 minutes or so. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch and you want to discuss some items of interest, then you can do. And that is media.bacup@gmail.com. Send us your emails and we'll gladly, or even go along to the social media platforms and leave your comments there. A few things this morning, Brent. We've got VAR. We've got a Matty James return. Fantastic return. You know, he came on after 85 minutes in that game. He's worked his socks off.
He has, yeah. We'll come to that later.
We'll come to that. Heading the ball.
Yeah, that's
in junior football. That's making the news. Tyson Fury, fantastic victory in Las Vegas at the weekend. Rotherham supporters stopping off at Borough en route. Very touching. Bit of class.
That were class, yeah. You know, I mean, obviously everybody knows it's well documented what's happened to Borough Football Club. You know, there's no football there. Gig Lane's stood there as a nothing happening, and the Rotherham supporters on the way to Accrington decided to all pull in. All the coaches pulled in, and the supporters took to the town of Borough to support the businesses, mainly the pubs and the you know, the bars, the restaurants. You know, just to give them some moral support because they've lost all that trade with Bury's decline.
Whoever's idea that was, if it was the Rotherham Supporters Club idea en route, that was a really
class.
Good touching gesture.
Really were, yeah, and they deserve a lot of credit for that.
They didn't need to do that.
They didn't, no, they didn't, and you know it was really classy.
That was still with you. We're still thinking about you.
Yeah, exactly. And it just shows what football can do. You know, it brings us everybody together. You know, we can have our ups, we can have our downs, we can have our disagreements.
Yeah.
We all have difference of opinions, but at the end of the day, the football family, when you need it and want them, they're there for you.
The little people, we've got to stick together. The smaller groups have got to stick together because it's the only way we can survive.
I just hope on another subject as well, and it involves the Yorkshire club. I just hope we're talking about Lakes on the pitch yesterday. I just hope that Tadcaster Albion got the support and that they deserve, because they've had it horrendous. And one thing that I'm going to say, and I think you're going to try and steal my thunder, but I'm going to come in.
Yeah.
About Peter Shilton.
Yeah, definitely.
See, I'm reading your mind.
That was another classy piece of work.
It was, yeah, definitely. You know, for those viewers that don't know, that Peter Shilton got in touch and he's provided some quality memorabilia that he's collected over the years that can be auctioned off and raise some valuable funds in all that the club can survive.
Well, he had 125 caps for England. He only had a limited edition. He had 125 pairs of gloves made, and he's donating one of them pairs of gloves. And
truly
hopefully
fantastic.
That's going to bring some real cash.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's because they're going to need in the region. They were saying in the region of £50,000.
Yeah. It's devastating, and I mean the thing is
because they'd already spent a lot of money on the club.
But what needs to happen, and I said it before, you know, and I'm sure the FA are on with it. It's all right. It's all right raising all this money and helping them out to survive this year, but it could come again next year. So what something's got to happen about trying to implement.
Sort out the drainage issues at the club.
It's the flood defences, isn't it? It's not really the drains, is it? It's the flood defences. The river's overflowing and it's breaching the banks and it's coming onto the football pitch and it's so it's good that people are rallying round and finding money for them and just giving pages and this and that, but it can happen again next year. It needs sorting out, but it's not the government needs to get involved with this. The FA needs to get involved with it. It's important.
It certainly is important. What other points? You've got a few more points. We've got quite a few things to rattle through this morning. I don't know how we're going to do it. But
through, Gypsy King. I mean, what can you say about that guy? At the end of the day, the guy's been through hell and back.
A lot of turmoil.
He has gone through a lot of turmoil. People wrote him off. And you know what? I listen to his. I'm not really a boxing fan,
but I love his honesty.
But I listen to his interviews, and when he comes out and says, and you look at, I saw a picture of him probably 5 years ago. 5 years ago, the size of him. 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
And he was going through all these mental health issues, which is massive in modern day, and he's just flying the flag for people to listen. Get out there, talk to people, do something about it.
You can turn a corner,
and you can turn it, and he's proved that. So, there was something going on about should they make him, like a Lord of the Manor in Manchester, or give him the freedom of the city. It goes without saying. But then people come on and say, "Well, he's got a bit of baggage." Listen. We've all got baggage, let's be honest. Anybody who says they haven't got baggage out there...
He's just honest enough to talk about it.
If you tell me you haven't got baggage out there, you're not being honest, because everybody's got baggage. So, let's be honest.
Yeah. But the fact he's thrown it out there and been so honest with his documentaries and his program means that the media have nothing on him. They can't sell a story because he's already publicised the fact of his misdemeanours and his devil and his demons.
Yeah, exactly. You can't, at the end of the day, he's come out with some daft remarks over time and he's apologised for that. That's what I mean about, and people are trying to hold that.
But that's his opinion. He's entitled to it.
Yeah, everybody's entitled to an opinion. The difference is, a man of his means you can't really come out and broadcast it. And I think that's what's upset a few people. But listen, for the amount of people that's been upset, there's far more people.
He has encouraged so many people.
And I think, believe me, he should be rewarded in the best way he can.
He should take his cattle down the main street in Morecambe.
Not only that,
because he lives in Ayrsham, doesn't he? He lives near the power station in Ayrsham. Yeah,
it must be that nuclear stuff that's getting in his body and everything.
He pushes his gypsy caravan down Main Street.
Oh, blimey! No, he's a character, all right.
Yeah. Have you heard his dad talking? His dad sounds exactly like. If you close your eyes, you'd think it was Tyson that was actually talking.
Oh no, I haven't.
And the spitting image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's a good story, and and the end bit where he always gets American Pie, gets everybody going. He's just been going through 7 rounds, hasn't he? A bit of blood and thunder.
Then he gives you some karaoke.
And then he's just so relaxed in his karaoke, a bit of American Pie. Oh, brilliant! It's absolutely fantastic.
Right, go on then. Which one do we want to touch upon first? Because we are quickly running out of time.
Well, I don't know. The big topic is at the minute, isn't it? Is VAR again. Why? Listen, Steve.
Turf more as well.
They bring VAR in because the referees can't get it right. Basically, in a nutshell, and technology will sort that out. But now VAR can't get it right. And look, you've had several situations at the weekend. Look at the Spurs, the Chelsea Spurs game. That was a potential leg breaker. It was awful. How on earth that was never a red card is beyond me.
Yeah.
It's gone to VAR, and the VAR haven't even picked it up, and they say it's human error.
Who's sitting in the box or doing the VAR? Because the VAR is only as good as the person who's working it.
Well, it's like anything, isn't it? It's like in anything. A computer is only as good as what people input into the computer. Yeah. So it's like anything. But it's a crazy situation. And another one that's absolutely scandalous, in my opinion. You're watching a game of football, which is supposed to be entertainment value, right? You pay your money to go to a game.
Don't you be hiding behind that Magnus
You go
thing.
you go and pay your money to go to a game. You're excited. You're wanting it. There's a bit of a buzz about the place. You go on. It's Burnley versus Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Straight away, an incident happens in the box. The players which are claiming, which everybody will claim, it's handball, but the ball actually all play on the referee.
10 seconds later,
plays on. They've gone travel 100 plus yards up the pitch.
And
the ball's in the net, and then they're bringing the game back. It's VAR. Oh, hang on, but the VAR then goes to the other end of the pitch and awards a penalty. That is How can we be in a situation like that happening? Yeah. Whether it's right or it's wrong, it was a penalty. Yeah. There's no two ways about it. Yeah. But come on, we the ball. So now you're watching a game of football, and obviously the action moves 100 yards up.
But
the
the
pitch.
first one,
the action moves 100 yards up the pitch, and then we're thinking, hang on. Any minute now, is there going to be? Are we going back? Are we going to go back? Because that's what's happening.
It takes the enjoyment out of the game completely.
How can you do it?
But there was a first one where Bournemouth scored a goal, and the VAR gave an handball. It quite clearly, from what I was seeing, I'm a Burnley supporter, came off his shoulder.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But then the second one was a clear handball.
I come back. Well, let's do the Leicester Man City.
Yeah,
there's two incidents in there, very very similar. One were a bit more convincing than the other. Yeah. But nevertheless, they've got it wrong again. I mean, if you're a Leicester supporter and the management and everything, you'd be grieved. Because clearly his hands are up here. It's handball. Which way. Is that in an unnatural position? Yeah. It's not a natural position, is it?
Personally, Brent, I would like to see the referees take back full control of the game.
I would.
Get rid of VAR. We don't want VAR.
We don't want it. Just let them take control.
Over the space of a season, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some.
They're going to get it wrong, but we'd hope they get more right.
But the figures have shown that the referees have been getting a lot more right than we've been giving them credit for.
Well, probably, yeah, exactly. He comes back, let the referee, it's just getting bonkers. Because when you think about how many goals since VAR have been ruled out, you think you could turn around if you wanted to be and cynical, and you could say, all them years that Manchester United were the champions of the league. Well, really, they weren't, because if VAR had been, half of them goals wouldn't have counted.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah, it's madness.
It's madness. So, listen,
I'm not a fan of it. I think they should get back to
the referees. Yeah. Back to how the old school were. And while we're talking about referees, have we touched on this topic? I think we have done when we're about this, where they can't have banter and you can't talk back.
Well, yeah, that was on a previous show,
because they should be allowed to have banter.
Of course, you should.
You should be talking like we're talking.
Yeah,
and
wind your neck in and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, wind your neck in and get on with it. Come on, I'm refereeing this game, not you. Concentrate on your game.
Well, you see it in rugby. I was watching something. The Welsh rugby referee. What a character he is. But the game is full of characters, and there's a mutual respect between the players and the referee. Yeah, in rugby.
Well, there should be. I just think that the powers that be.
There's a lot of soft arses, if we're being.
Well, there is, and the powers. I've probably got to be careful what I say here, but I'm going. Did they get bullied at school, these people, or what? I don't know. I should have said that.
What you mean? Because they're on a bit of a power trip?
Yeah. What's it all about? Come on, stand on and listen. You get football. It's supposed to be a physical, although they're trying to take the physicality out of it.
More and more.
It's a physical man's. Although girls are playing it, but we touched on it before that the girls can be physical as well. So
it certainly can.
So it's a physical man-stroke-girls game where physicality comes into it. So if physicality comes into it, it's a contact sport. You're going to have things that are getting near the knuckle, and that's where the person that manages the game, which is the referee, and his assistants have to take control. That's what they're there for. And in my opinion, just like a manager, the best managers, there's coaches. Coaching and managing is two different jobs, in my opinion, right? We could be talking balls. It's two different jobs. You're managing people. Coaches, you're coaching. You're bringing them into the
training ground routines.
Exactly, right? Now a referee. So a referee, when he goes onto that pitch, he's got to handle 22 players of all different characters. There's people on that pitch that were who are kind of weak and wimp and choir boyish and whatever. And there's also aggressive characters, streetwise players, streetwise kids.
And you've got to be in a position to be able to handle each one.
To handle each one, exactly.
One needs a shouting to, one needs an arm around his shoulder.
And deal with it, and allow them to deal with it. But the trouble is, it's like, I blame the people at the top, mate. I blame these people in FA that you do this and you do that and we do that, and when that happens. And this is why we get it at this level, because we've got the juniors that's setting off in the game, and somewhere they've got to start. And at the end of the day, they start at our level, right? Well, they start a bit lower and then they come up to our level. Now, this is the problem. Everybody, as young footballers do, they're aspiring to be the next guy in the middle, at the top level. They want to be at Old Trafford, Anfield, Turf Moor, where they're officiating a game.
Be the next Mike
so
Dean
what they're going to
do,
they're going to run with the laws of the game, true to the Bible of what it says. Now, let's be honest, the more experienced players, I'm not saying they don't run through to the Bible, they manage situations and control situations, and that gets people being more respectful towards them.
Of course it does.
And what's happening now in modern day, you've got VAR, which is bonkers, and it's causing havoc all over. If they don't get rid of it, there's going to be in some of these football grounds, there's going to be a riot, because, you know, with the game the other week where they were, I can't remember who it were, the goals were back-to-back goals. They had 2 goals disallowed with VAR, or even were it last week at Bournemouth, did they have 2 goals disallowed? There's been a game recently where 2 goals in a game has been ruled out VAR. And you're thinking, come on.
But what I can't understand, you've got the players, where the vast majority of the players don't want VAR. The guys, you know, supporters in the crowd don't want VAR. The only people who want VAR, or seem to want VAR, are the guys making the decisions in the FA.
Well, listen, we could go into that. Have you read Mark Elsie's book?
No, but I will do now you've mentioned it.
You need to read it.
Right.
Because...
And we can touch upon that next week.
Because...
Give me time to read it and I'll touch upon it.
Mark Elsie's basically predicted in a daft way what's going to happen. And they tried to gag him.
Yeah.
The FA tried to gag him, you know. They didn't want this book coming out. But he predicted. And I think this guy, Riley, is a massive problem.
Yeah.
But you need to read the book. And...
Well, what I'll do, I'll read the book, and then next week we'll discuss it in more detail.
There's obviously there's no smoke without fire. No. This is a referee that's been around a long time, played and refereed at the highest level. Yeah. And all of a sudden,
so he's seen the writing on the wall.
All of a sudden, he's got this book, and they tried to stop it.
Yeah.
And he's seen the writing on the wall, and you know, at the end of the day, you know, there's obviously things that have gone on, and you know. Look, we need to get back to how it were.
But let's leave that for now, because we went off a little bit at a tangent. But I want to touch up on it because, of course, his shirt's on the wall. Massive fan as well. We're massive fans of him. Matty James, back in action at the weekend.
Unbelievable what he's had to go through. People don't realise.
Yeah.
You know, look. There are a lot of players out there that's had bad life, career. Injuries, ending injuries. But it seems with Matty, it's like been a career-threatening injury, and then further injuries when he's coming back after like 9 months of trying to rehabilitate to come back. He breaks down with another injury, and then he comes back from that, and then he breaks down with another injury. All this time he's breaking down with injuries. He's having to go out with operations to have operations. So he spent he spent more time on the slab being operated on than what he has on a football pitch.
Well, on Friday I've got a report going, an article going in the Rosendale Free Press, and it's about Matty James. And I did the research, and I don't think there's a more unluckier player in the Premiership than Matty James, because it's just gone from season to season. Well, he's been fighting since 2015.
Yeah, and look, for all those people out there, and this isn't just about Matty James. This is about you know, footballers in general. There's a lot of people out there, you know, that you know, because the footballers, they're icons, they're there on television every night in the week playing for the varying clubs. The press build them up. They're only human beings at the end of the day. They're just like me. And the people, oh well, they're well paid. Listen, they've got feelings. They've got, you know, and I know firsthand because I've been close with Matty all the way through. You know, just what he has, you know, had to go through. But equally, not just Matty, other footballers.
Yeah.
And we don't see that they have to go through because it's, oh, he's out injured, he's been out for a while, oh, he's making a comeback now. But they're enduring it. And it doesn't just talk about recovering from injury. We have to talk about, you know, there's a mental side of the game. I mean, you can imagine that, you know, in Matty James' case, he's been a big part of the championship winning side that got him up into the Premiership.
But he felt like he was on the outside looking in.
Exactly. He did his ACL on the very last game. I was there actually at the King Power. I was there when he did it. Yeah. It was against Southampton.
Yeah. That was to stay in. That
was when they won the championship.
Yeah.
The season they won the championship to go into the Premiership.
Yeah.
It was virtually the last game. It was the last home game anyway. It was the last home game of the season against Southampton. I was in attendance. It was basically nothing. There were two players running together, Matty and the Southampton player. He's lent, and then his kind of knee,
the ligament,
his ligament, and his body's gone one way, and his knee staying planted. The rest is history. But the following season, when he's going through rehabilitation and he's trying to get back, you know, to where we were,
and his team were becoming very successful.
His team are becoming successful. They storm the Premiership. They win the he's on the outside.
Yeah, feeling like a spare part.
Exactly, and eventually, and then you're on your own when you're in the gym and you're working with the physios and the medical team, and you know, gradually it starts to.
You're part of the team, but you personally don't feel part of the team.
No, exactly. That's it. And this is where I would say, when we touched on agents the other day, we're like kind of hinting at that, because that's where I think that he's with a different agent now, who I think is absolutely
That's
fantastic.
when an agent's got to earn his corn.
That's when an agent's got to earn his corn, because that's where I think that he should have been the one. His agent should have been making sure when there were live Premiership games coming from the King Power that he was in the
and he was part of the
studio,
action.
he was part of it, but he wasn't. He was out. And I think you'll have read it when you've touched on it. When they were parading the Premiership trophy and they had him there on the players made him be there on that because they wanted him part of it.
Yeah,
and pushing him.
But
to
in
the
his
forefront.
own words, I was reading a couple of articles in the Leicestershire Live and the Guardian as well. A fantastic article in the talking about, he kind of shows it as he's on a roller coaster going down while he's seeing his teammates going to the top.
Yeah.
And he said it was an horrible place to be.
To be. Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Oh, it's Whitney Houston. There we go, you see.
What kind of listen to that. What kind of tune is that?
Listen, it's a bit listen, being in the game with you.
If you're that person on the phone and you're watching this, give us 5 minutes. Give us 5 minutes.
Listen, this is a brilliant tune.
Is this what you used to play back in your DJ days?
Listen, any Whitney Houston song.
Oh,
she's coming back. Yeah. Anyway.
So great to see him back.
So to get that chance, he's worked so hard, and I know, I mean, I've got to give a lot of credit to to Leicester City, as a club, because
and the supporters,
and the supporters, but they've really supported it.
They have,
really,
and I do mention that in the article, the fact that he's been there since he joined from Manchester United, 2012 it was. He went out on loan to Barnsley, didn't he? But they've always had a soft spot for him, and they always know that he's giving 110% to the cause. Well, and they've stuck with him.
Listen, a gentleman I know extremely well, and I'm quite close to, who's a guy who's Terry Robinson, who's a former chairman of Borough Football Club. He's been chief executive at Leicester City. been chief executive at Sheffield United, and now he's an advisor to football in general. He actually put a comment on my LinkedIn page. Well done, congratulating Matty, and his actual comment was one of the nice guys in football. And I've got to say that, you know, both of them, not just Matty and Reece. I mean, when you see what dedication they both have put in and with the help of the backing of the dad, or Linton over time, you know, he's worked hard with them. You know.
Well, I know from my story, he even put a gymnasium in his garage at one point because he wanted to do extra work and build up.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
that's how committed he were to getting back.
Yeah. So to see him after all this time,
it was great.
Get on there against Manchester City.
Standing
as well,
ovation as well.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic, and I'm pleased for really, really pleased for him.
Right, moving on. Edinburgh football. I want to go into Edinburgh football, junior football. It's making the papers at the moment, Brent, and I can understand why. To a degree, and I think at junior level, in training, not a bad option.
Well,
what about yourself? What do you think?
I agree. Juniors, it shouldn't be happening. You know, because your body's still developing, so everything. You're
like a sponge, I suppose.
Yeah. So I get it at juniors, but then there comes a time when you're going into the senior football where,
or secondary football as well.
Yeah, where probably at 12. 13, 14-year-old, then you can start to...
Yeah, you're developing more.
You can start to head a football. I get it at a young age, no, they shouldn't be heading footballs. But football's not football. I read something on Twitter this morning, but one of my ex-players, actually, John Stevenson, put on Twitter about the game should be played on the floor. You can't, and this is a guy who's 6'2", by the way, right? And he's on about you can't head. It's probably only because he can't head a ball, right? Oh, it should be played on the floor. It should be outlawed. Should heading a football and all that. Hang on, it's part and parcel of the game. Is heading a football. You know, I get that. You know, people have looked back over years, and you know particularly the Jeff Astle situation. But we've got to remember, back in the day, those balls were leather balls.
They were like medicine balls.
Medicine balls. So it's a total different ball.
With a stitching.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's touch wood, or touch my head, right? It's not... Dennis Laws, that's he was the king at heading balls, weren't he?
Billy Hamilton.
Football. Billy Hamilton. You know, you can go on. What were he called? Ron down at Southampton, when Southampton back in the day. Ron, there were two of them, two brothers, weren't there? Can't think of the second name now.
Believe when you think of people like Andy Lockhead back in there. Andy
Lockhead and everything. So it's part of football. You know, like what you're going to do with if they take it out of football, you shouldn't head a football. Then
you're going to start playing football. It can't be above
corners
head height.
Aren't going to be whipped in, are they? They're all going to be short corners. And it's not football.
Almost like five-a-side.
You can't take it out of the game.
No.
Heading is part of the game.
Yeah.
And you know, I do get that they shouldn't be heading footballs when they're still developing as children growing up. Yeah. I get that, but there comes a time where, you know, when they're more mature and the more bodies developed, then they start to.
That part of the game needs to be introduced.
I think so. Yeah.
What other points do you want to pick up? Oh, yes, let's pick up on this one. We were going to mention it. Rotherham, travelling to Borough.
Here we go, Whitney's back. Yeah, what about him? Yeah, we spoke about it.
Well, we mentioned it at the beginning about the fact that a great respect, class from Rotherham. The Borough situation, what's happening at the moment? What is happening behind the scenes? Do you know any more?
As far as I'm concerned,
because of course there is a club that's putting an application.
Yeah, but as far as I'm concerned, in the Borough situation, Borough is still a Borough. Borough is still a legal entity. They're a
I'm going to find
club.
out who that person is. I'm going to.
I hope they've got plenty of money, because I haven't got none, so they can bring some money if they want to. Might be one of our main sponsors.
It could be, actually. Yeah, it could be.
They're But yeah, no, going back to the Bury situation, I couldn't tell you. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Bury Football Club,
They're still alive.
They're still alive. They're a legal entity.
Yeah.
Now, whether the guy is trying to sell it, trying to get a sale over the line, I don't know.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, and whilst it's a legal entity, then the club's...
Yeah. But this other club, the Phoenix Club, they're going to push forward. They've already applied. If they are successful with that application, I believe that, is it Ratcliffe Borough could be a possible
venue.
Home venue?
Yeah, I think so. It'd be a good venue for them. Yeah, it'd be a good venue because it makes sense.
Yeah.
Best of luck with their application. From what I can gather is that, you know, even though that the North West Counties League have ratified, it's still got to be
rubber stamped,
by the FA. And if Bury apply to be in one of the leagues, then I think that will not take place.
Right.
The Phoenix Club.
Any other points that you want to pick up on?
No, I'd just like to congratulate you. Well, we've had no games of football over the weekend.
Why?
Because usually some people, like the missus, are making them go to IKEA and paper in the bedrooms and one thing and another. But you know what? You've done a good job with our website. I've got to give you a lot of credit with that.
Oh, we'll pick up. Oh, we'll mention that because it was last week. Great news. There's a lot more news to come out in the next couple of weeks. But iSports Football College are in partnership with Bacup Borough Football Club. It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening going forward. We're going to take on an education programme at the club, which will be run by iSports.
How did that come about then, Brent? Initially, how did the...
Well, it came about through a former player of mine, Lee Kershaw, who's now managing down at Whitworth Valley. He made an introduction to me. He said that a guy a guy close to Lee called Michael wanted to be introduced to me and wanted to, you know, speak to me. So we had a meeting. He introduced him. We had meetings, and from that, it's basically we're gone. They want to Bacup Borough. You know, they've got other clubs involved in it, in the programme, and they want to Bacup Borough as part of their portfolio. So it's something that, you know, we got involved in a few years ago when, but unfortunately we couldn't really see it through because of this Lewis Michaels scandal that went on. Yeah. But these are established. They've been going a lot longer than
2003. These guys have been going now.
Been going a long time, so they've got credibility and, you know, knowledge, credibility, and, you know, it can only be good for the children of you know, the Rosendale.
But what
Valley.
a great opportunity if you've got a lad finishing school in July, age 16 to 19, looking for a future, looking to progress further with his football development, then get in touch with us because it's a great opportunity for anyone around this local area.
It's not like going, let's be honest, it's like, no disrespect to the colleges out there, but when you're going to college, you're going to college.
Yeah.
Here, you'll be going to a football club every day.
Yeah, you're actually coming to a football club.
Yeah, you'll be doing your education, obviously.
Yeah, important part.
But, you know, you will be getting by good standard coaches.
Yeah.
You'll be getting educated and coached well on the coaching side.
And that'll happen all in-house.
And to be honest, then that should be able to propel you if you're progressing into our youth systems at the club, which will progress into the first team.
So there'll be a pathway that'll be created.
There's a pathway as well. So it's got to be a win-win-win situation for every one of us.
Certainly. So do stay tuned on our website. I did put it up there a few seconds ago. It's bacupboroughfc.com. All the details are on there. In the next few weeks, we'll have more information regarding getting your application forms in. And, of course, we're going to have a trial day, won't there? There'll be a trial evening. Yeah. That's going to take place maybe in the back end of March.
Well, there'll be an introduction day where you know, the people from iSports will come out and speak to the parents and speak to the kids, and, you know, we'll take it from there. But talking about education, me and you are in school next week, you know. We're back to school.
We are. Where are we going?
We're going junior school over the road.
Right, and so what we're going to be doing...
That's like a careers day for the
young'uns.
For the young'uns.
Yeah.
And it's very, we've got involved with it and participated in it for the last probably, I think we missed last year because I wasn't available to go, but that's the only time I've missed out of probably the last 6 years. And it's always it's great for the it's great. And they've got it all well organised over there, where they come round and they ask you good questions and so
kids always ask good questions, don't they?
It'll be good. 2 hours back in school.
Brilliant. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to be with you this morning. We'll be back on Friday morning, around about 10:30 on Friday, chewing the fat and talking a lot of balls. What have you got planned this week, Mr. Pete? Is he out on that pitch? All being well.
We can't get on that pitch. What do you think? What do you mean? Are we on that pitch? Thinking I'm not being funny.
Once the snow goes, you'll be fine.
Are you for real?
I'm winding you up.
We're like late Windermere, and then we've got the snow. When that thaws, it'll be water. Yeah. So it'll be waterlogged.
Yeah. So the next home game's probably going to be next season.
We need plenty. Well, don't get me on this other issue because we've had to slot and I feel sorry for Golkar, but we've had to slot because the league have this ruling that within so many days you've got to rearrange it, which is not in some respects it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Right. But
it's looking like another postponement.
It's going to end up being another postponement. It's crazy because at the end of the day, I'd rather have put that rearranged game back in. We've got it now for on Tuesday, but we're not out the woods with the weather. We need several drying days to get back to where a bit of normality. Yeah. But coming to next Tuesday, when looking at the forecast, we don't look like we're going to get out of it yet. We're well and truly in it, and people have short memories. Only last week and week before, almost nearly all the northwest counties were decimated, and other leagues we're losing games. So as soon as a bit of sunshine comes, you know what people think? They don't realise we've had 6 months of rain in a month.
Yeah. And the pitch is absolutely saturated.
And they go, a bit of sunshine, we might get a game in today. No, it don't work like that.
Absolute pleasure. We will be back with you, as I say, on Friday morning around about 10:30, chewing the fat and talking a lot of balls. Enjoy your week. I'll see you later.
Bit of a bonus today because they had Whitney.
I want to dance with somebody. See you later.
See you later.